Hello, hi, welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English! I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well let's learn English together. And welcome back, people. Yes, we're here. We're now, and we're almost ready to get started. And as I'm sure you all know, there'll be white clouds over the blue cliffs of Dover this weekend. Or something like that. All right, and have you all noticed the date? Yes, I know. It's the 13th, isn't it? Yes, but luckily for us, it's not Friday the 13th, eh? Yes, that's the unluckiest day that anyone knows. You remember that, don't you? Yes, that's the anniversary of the time when it was Jesus' birthday party or something like that, and there were only enough chairs for Jesus and his gang, but Jesus' mum and his stepdad Joe also turned up, but that wasn't a big problem because Joe didn't want to sit down, he just had a drink at the bar, and he didn't have a problem with standing. But afterwards, after Big J's mum and stepdad had gone home, there were some other problems. Judas turned up late, and then Clive broke a chair, and Percy broke a bottle of wine, and the manager of the bar wasn't happy. And then, when the pizza arrived, there were anchovies on it, and nobody likes anchovies, so that was a bit of a bummer. And then to cap it all, when the bill came, Judas told everyone that he'd left his wallet at home, so he couldn't chip in. And then Alan said that Judas always did this, came out, drank loads, ate loads, and then remembered that he's left his wallet in his other toga thingy. And after that, things got really ugly when Judas asked Alan to step outside, and the others had to pull them apart, and then the atmosphere was ruined, and Jesus said that he wanted to go home, and the whole evening turned out to be a complete disaster, and that's why we always worry about Friday the 13th. So, it's pretty lucky for us that today's not Friday the 13th, isn't it? Yes. Phew, thank God for that. Yes, my intrepid English explorers, we're lucky in that today is the 13th. Yes, but it's Thursday the 13th, and there's nothing bad about that at all. Good. Well, hang on. I mean, I know that I just said that there's nothing bad about that, but well, it's still only Thursday, isn't it? Yes, and our favourite day of the week is Friday, not Thursday. Still, the fact that it's Thursday means that we're only a few hours away from Friday dawning upon us. And that, in turn, means that the time when Friday rips off its mask and false moustache and beard, that time is also only a few hours away. So, things aren't all bad, are they? Every second which passes brings us closer to Friday, and more importantly, to Friday! All right, so I presume that you're all sitting there, clutching your mug of whatever, or your cup of whatever, or whatever you're clutching, waiting for us to get started by getting stuck into some more vocab. Well, in that case, hang on to your pants and whatever you're clutching, otherwise you'll get coffee all over the place. Hang on, because here we go. All right, vocab from yesterday. What did we hear from the conversation I had with Enid yesterday? Well, let's think, shall we? Enid started off the vocabulary by highlighting the difference between the verb to sneer and the verb to snarl. So let's have a quick peek at that now. Now, think about Billy Idol. Billy, although we all know that his real name is William Broad, well, never mind about all that now. Billy was always famous for his sneer, something he does with his top lip. Look, you can see it in this photo. Now, can you see what he's done with his top lip, or rather what he's done with his half of his top lip? That's right. It's him sneering. When you move your mouth into that shape, it's called a sneer. And what do you think? Is it a positive look or a negative look? Yes, that's right. Traditionally, the idea of sneering isn't a positive idea at all. If you sneer at someone or something, then you're sort of smiling at them, but you're doing it in a way which communicates that you are superior to them or it. Look at the Dangerous brothers in this old photo. Look at the way that Richard Dangerous, the man on the left of the photo, look at the way that he's looking at the camera. Yes, that's a sneer, isn't it? It's slightly different to Billy's sneer, but you can see that Richard Dangerous thinks that he's better than us, can't you? He's sneering at us. He's communicating that he's better than us. He's making fun of us. He's mocking us. He thinks we're stupid. And look, and also listen to the way that Richie speaks to these people in the other flat here. Again, he's mocking them. He's taunting them. He's ridiculing them. Perfect.
watching your tellies, are you? Addling your brains? We're having an evening of culture and poetry and chess, you know, while you're sitting there vegetating in front of Emmerdale Farm. You poor, sad peasants.
He thinks that they're inferior to him and Eddie. They're having an evening of culture with poetry and chess and stuff like that. And the other people, well, they're just peasants sitting there in front of their tellies watching Emmerdale Farm, addling, that is, confusing their brains. And, well, you might have a point.
So come on. What did you do?
Stay out of it, Vic.
No, I might be able to help.
Well, you can't.
Look, whatever it is, Chaz is pregnant, so she wins every time.
I know.
Go on, go and find her and give her what it is she wants. Can't be that hard.
Okay, so that's the idea of a sneer, the thing that Billy did with his top lip. And we've also seen the idea of the verb to sneer. That's what Richard Dangerous and Richie were doing. They were looking down on everyone else. Okay, but as we heard from Enid, Keith didn't sneer at her, but rather he snarled at her. Okay, and what's that about? Well, the verb to snarl is the sort of thing that dogs do to show that they don't like something and they're about to attack. Think about what a dog does when you try to take its bone away. The dog warns you, threatens you. The dog bares its teeth. The dog shows you its teeth as a warning. The dog is showing its teeth to say, look at these dangerous fangs. If you don't stop, I'm going to bite you. And when the dog is showing you its teeth, it's also making a noise, isn't it? Yes, it's growling, it's making a low, hostile, threatening noise. And the two of these ideas together, that's the idea of someone or something snarling. Okay. And as we can see, it's a very animalistic idea, isn't it? Yes, it's the sort of idea that we normally think of with animals, with dogs and wolves, with canines like these. I'm not sure if I'd use the verb to snarl with a cat, though. I'm not sure. I just don't think that cats can snarl. But here's the thing. People can snarl. Think about someone who says something in an angry way. Think about when you're very angry and someone asks you a stupid question. It's quite possible that you'll snarl at them, isn't it? You'll reply in a short, aggressive way. Perhaps you'll snarl, shut up, at them. So cats no, but people yes. Now, something less aggressive. I mentioned one thing to Enid, the idea of biting off more than you can chew. Well, this is simple enough, isn't it? When we want to eat something, first we bite a piece of the food off, and then we have to chew it before we can swallow it. We all know that. But what happens if we bite off a piece which is too big? Then we can't chew, can we? We don't have enough space in our mouths to chew. And so now we've got a problem. Our mouths are full of what we want to eat, but there's too much, and we're in danger of choking to death. Blimey! All right. Well, this phrase is just used to talk about the situation where we realize that the job we've agreed to do, the thing that we've said we'd do, well, it's too much for us. We can't do it. We agreed to do something and now we realize that we can't. It's too much. It's too difficult. People will sometimes tell you, don't bite off more than you can chew. And if they say this, they're just telling you not to take on too much. Only take on as much as you can handle. And at the end of that conversation with Enid, she admitted that she'd got cold feet again. So what do you think about that one? To have cold feet. All this means is that you've lost your nerve of confidence. When someone asked you to do something, you said, full of confidence, okay, no problem, I'll do it, I'm not scared. But now that the time is here, you don't feel so confident. You've lost your nerve. You're starting to wish that you hadn't agreed to do it. You've got cold feet. Think about dangerous or risky sports. Think about parachute jumping, jumping out of a plane with just an elaborate umbrella to stop you from denting your ankles when you hit the ground. Perhaps it sounds like a great idea at first, but then when you're standing in the open doorway of the plane and someone tells you to jump, maybe you discover that you've got cold feet. Suddenly, you discover that you've lost your nerve. Your self-confidence has evaporated, and you'd rather be at home watching Emmerdale than here in the middle of the sky, standing in the open doorway of a plane with a backpack containing an umbrella on your back.
One last time, yellow than red!
course, it doesn't matter if you develop cold feet, the chances are that the person behind you will push you out of the door anyway. Okay, what else did we hear? Well, there was one word, not a difficult word, and a word which lots of people in Hungary know and use. But here's the thing. This word is one of those which is always or nearly always mispronounced. Yes, miss. The prefix we add to certain words to indicate badly or incorrectly, wrongly. You've mispronounced his name. It's Gábor, not Gabor. You misspelled her name. It's Horsági, not Horsányi. You mismanaged the company. Now we've gone bust. Okay, so this word gets mispronounced a lot, so we should quickly check the correct pronunciation. The word that I'm talking about is this one. Now, for some unfathomable reason, at least as far as I'm concerned, it's unfathomable. I can't figure it out. But as I said, for some strange reason, for a lot of people in Hungary, people who work in the travel business, in travel agents and hotels and places like that, a lot of these people mispronounce this word. They pronounce it as voucher, and that's incorrect. The verb is the verb to vouch, and the verb means to confirm. So we might have an idea that you are allowed into a club where I am a member because I vouch for you. I tell people that you're a nice person, and because I'm a member, they agree to let you in too. Okay, but what about a voucher? Well, that's a small piece of paper which shows that you're entitled to something. Maybe you cut something out of the newspaper, which means that the next time you go to the supermarket, you can get a discount off cornflakes or something like that. Or maybe, as is more usual, these days you're given a voucher by your travel agent to confirm that you have paid for certain services. When you go on holiday, on a package holiday, when someone organizes everything for you, then they hand you all of the paperwork before you get on the plane. Perhaps in all this paperwork there's a voucher for the transfer from the airport to the hotel and another voucher for the transfer from the hotel back to the airport when you leave. Then there'll probably be a voucher for the hotel. Now, all of these pieces of paper do one thing. They vouch for the fact that you've already paid for these services, these things, the transfer to and from the hotel and the hotel stay itself. These pieces of paper vouch. They confirm that you've paid and you're entitled to these things. This voucher, that voucher, not voucher, shows that you paid. Maybe before you left, you paid for some trips when you're on holiday. In that case, you'll also have vouchers for those activities. Pieces of paper, vouchers, which vouch for the fact that you've already paid. And unfortunately, I can vouch to the fact that we're almost out of time. Yes, it's true. The end of the lesson is approaching fast, and that means that it's time for us to say goodbye. So I'll leave you all now, and you all know what I'm going to do, don't you? Yes, that's right. I'm off home to get a coffee. And as for you lot, well, there might be chores to start or finish. There might be homework to do. And if there's nothing else, there's always the dog, the cat, and the llama. I'll see you all tomorrow. And you know what day tomorrow is, don't you? Yes, of course you do. And it's damned well not Tuesday. See you later, people. www.mediaclick.hu. See you tomorrow. Bye.